Emile loved cheese, all kinds. From the creamy brie to the sharp cheddar, he adored them all. His passion for cheese was unmatched, and it showed in every aspect of his life. He had a shop. It was called Emile's Cheese Paradise. People loved Emile's shop. It was a haven for cheese lovers, a place where they could find the rarest and most exquisite cheeses from around the world. They came for the cheese. They stayed for Emile's cheesy jokes. His humor was as rich and varied as his cheese selection, making every visit a delightful experience.
Wow!
One day, Emile got a big wheel of Gouda. It was the largest he had ever seen, and he was thrilled. It was shiny, it smelled so good. The aroma filled the shop, making everyone's mouth water.
Wow!
"This is the best Gouda ever!" Emile exclaimed, unable to contain his excitement. Emile told Cheddar, his dog. Cheddar was his loyal companion and the unofficial mascot of the shop. Cheddar wagged his tail. He loved cheese too. Whenever Emile brought out a new cheese, Cheddar was always the first to get a sniff.
Woof, woof!
The next morning, Emile went to show everyone the Gouda, but it was gone.
Woof!
"The Gouda! It's stolen!" Emile cried. In its place was a note. It read, "Thanks for the cheese. Signed, the Big Wheel."
Woof?
The Big Wheel? Emile wondered. "Who is that?" Cheddar barked. He was upset too. That Gouda was for sharing.
Woof, woof!
Emile had to find the Gouda. This was serious. It was his best cheese. Emile had always been passionate about cheese, ever since he was a child. Gouda, in particular, held a special place in his heart. It was the cheese that started his journey into the world of cheese appreciation. Losing it felt like losing a part of himself. He called his friends. They were all cheese lovers. Each one of them had a unique story about how they fell in love with cheese. From the creamy brie to the sharp cheddar, they had tasted and savored them all. They were more than friends. They were a family bound by their love for cheese. They called themselves the Cheese League. This group was not just about eating cheese. They were on a mission to explore, discover, and protect the finest cheeses in the world. They had even created their own cheese-themed attire, which they wore proudly during their cheese adventures.
The Big Wheel loves riddles. The Big Wheel was a mysterious figure in the cheese world, known for leaving cryptic clues and riddles wherever he went. Solving these riddles often led to the discovery of rare and exquisite cheeses.
First, they met Detective Brie. She loved cheese more than clues. Detective Brie was a legend in the cheese community. Her office was filled with cheese memorabilia, and she was known for her uncanny ability to solve cheese-related mysteries. "The Big Wheel loves riddles," she mumbled, munching on a brie wheel. She had a hunch that the missing Gouda was connected to one of the Big Wheel's riddles.
The Big Wheel was here. He left crumbs. The Cheese League knew they were on the right track. The crumbs were a signature move of the Big Wheel, a clue that they were getting closer to solving the mystery.
Then they met some mice. These weren't ordinary mice. They were the best cheese experts in town. They had an incredible sense of smell and could identify any cheese from miles away. The mice were cheese experts. They had been helping the Cheese League for years, providing valuable insights and clues that humans often missed. "The Big Wheel was here," squeaked a little mouse. "He left crumbs." The mice were excited. They knew that finding the crumbs meant they were close to uncovering the Big Wheel's latest riddle.
Squeak, squeak! The mice were on high alert, their noses twitching as they followed the trail of crumbs. The Cheese League knew they had to act fast if they wanted to find the Gouda before it was too late.
Section 4. Gaston's ghastly Gouda grab. The crumbs led to Gaston's shop. Gaston was Emile's rival. He also loved cheese, but he wasn't very nice. Emile and the Cheese League burst in.
Gaston, it was you all along!
Gaston was caught. He had the Gouda.
I was gonna make cheese puffs.
Emile couldn't believe it.
Cheese puffs? You steal my Gouda for cheese puffs?
Section 5. A toast to Gouda. Emile got his Gouda back. He was so happy. It was a moment of pure joy and triumph for Emile. After all the challenges and adventures, he finally had his beloved Gouda in his hands again. The smile on his face was brighter than ever, and his heart was filled with gratitude and excitement. He threw a party for everyone. The Cheese League was there. Even Detective Brie. The atmosphere was electric, with laughter and chatter filling the air. The decorations were all cheese-themed, from the banners to the table settings. It was a celebration like no other, a true testament to Emile's love for cheese and his friends.
I brought more brie. The guests cheered as more and more varieties of cheese were brought out. Each one was more delicious than the last, and everyone was eager to try them all.
Emile shared the Gouda. Everyone agreed. It was the best Gouda ever. From that day on, Emile's Cheese Paradise was even more popular. People came from far and wide to taste the legendary Gouda. The shop was always bustling with customers, and Emile couldn't have been happier. His dream had come true, and he was surrounded by people who shared his passion for cheese. And Gaston? Well, let's just say he stuck to cheese puffs. Gaston had never been a fan of Gouda, but he was more than happy with his cheese puffs. He munched away contentedly, enjoying the party in his own way.
Oh, Emile, this Gouda is simply divine. The compliments kept coming, and Emile couldn't help but beam with pride. His hard work and dedication had paid off, and it was clear that everyone appreciated it.
I have to admit, it's the best I've ever tasted. The guests were in awe of the Gouda's rich, creamy flavor. It was a cheese lover's dream come true, and they couldn't get enough of it.
Woof! Woof! Even the dogs at the party seemed to be having a great time. Their excited barks added to the festive atmosphere, making everyone laugh.
And so, the tale of Emile's Gouda had a happy ending, filled with friends, laughter, and of course, cheese. It was a story that would be told for years to come, a reminder of the power of passion and perseverance. Emile's journey had brought joy to so many, and his Gouda had become a symbol of happiness and togetherness. The end.